Hi everyone and welcome back to the Couch Buddies, and tonight we're going to show you that mechanics aren't always bad.
And we're going to tell you how a business management student actually developed one of the classic games of the 90s, as well as some questionable and out-of-place racing games. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Hello guys and welcome to a whole new Couchisode. We hope that you had a great week. We also had a great weekend. We are here back once again for more old and moldy games and talking to you a little bit about what we have, found out to bring you about today. Today with our special attires, I'm more of a Hawaiian festive style. Blade is still rocking his black Couch Buddies t-shirt. Unfortunately, mine, since I don't have the privilege of accessing those t-shirts as easy as you do, mine is in the washing machine. It's actually being dried right now. So
he's lying. He's lying. He actually has his vacation shirt, and he has those Hawaiian skirts. You just can't see it right now.
Yes, but I love.
Yeah, you won't want to see that. Believe me.
It's a bit of a different attire for today.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
very different.
Let's jump right into our games. And today I'm going to talk about a game that it was special, but not because it was a great game. Actually, it was at best it was a miserable attempt at a racing game after we had so many successes of that time, such as like Network QRack Rally, which we already spoke about, and Indianapolis 500 and so on. So I'm going to talk about PC Rally from 1995. This was from MS-DOS, and this was published and developed by Digital Dreams Multimedia. So why is it so special, you might ask? Well, because to this day, almost 30 years later, I still haven't played a registered copy of this game. I have only played the shareware version. I really had to go online and check a few details of the game because I was under the impression that my experience would be very limited because I haven't really played the full version of this game. But apparently it wasn't, and I'll let you know how, or why in this case. So it's a racing game with a rally team, I mean, I'm a big fan of that, with an isometric view. Much like in the arcade racing games, the objective is to reach the end before the clock expires, like all that system with the checkpoints and so on and so forth. One particularity about this game, mentioning the checkpoints, is that they serve as saves rather than renewing your clock, meaning that if you crash your car, for example, you'd get back to that checkpoint and you don't need to start the race from the beginning. Talking about Rally Championship, that is one of the game modes, along with training and run track, where you can separately run each one of the stages of a whole rally. The rallies available are Monte Carlo, Acropolis, Faraones, and each one of them has 11 stages. So what was the game like? I mean, well, let's go to the hard part now, shall we? So the control scheme was only 4 keys. It was either up, down, right, or left, where up and down work as accelerator and the brake. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, there are great games that got away with simple control schemes, and it really worked. But then it comes to other annoying details. There's no track map. So you have to rely on the arrows that show up on the screen shortly before the curve is presented to you. Now this means that if you're going max speed, you'll be sure that you're going to hit a wall. So the physics are also horrible. There is a damage meter on the car that if you touch the walls, road obstacles, or crash, you get damage contribution, and when you reach max, obviously you're done, the car breaks down and you cannot continue. But the crashes are just nonsense. Sometimes you can go straight and you can hit the corner of a road rail, like the protections that are outside of the, putting the limits on the track, and you hit that head on, like straight forward, and your car just rolls to the side, which, I mean, it doesn't really make any sense, though. And, there is a speedometer also that is completely useless because it doesn't really show the actual speed the car is going. And to top it off, the sound effects are just, horrible. You have one sound sample for when the car is accelerating that then abruptly breaks into another one that is much quieter and as you hear the car doing, and it just keeps rolling, and despite the speedometer shows already max speed, the sound doesn't really match up to that. I mean, it's total nonsense. And again, if you're really curious about it, give it a go. It's shareware, so we'll leave a link on the description if you actually want to take a look at it. So this is a shareware version. I never played, as I said, the complete version of this game. And in the end, it was rather disappointing attempt to deliver a racing game of this quality. When just a year before, in 1994, we had the great Sega Rally Championship, among other titles like and I can't remember the other titles that I was going to mention too. Ridge Racer, for example, Ridge Racer. That was from 1993, if I'm not mistaken. And it's how can I call it? It's a sad little game. But I used to play this, and I don't remember why. I used to play this quite frequently. It was so weird.
You had nothing else to play. It's easy.
I don't know if that was the case, but I think that was just, those quick games that you just resort to when you don't have anything else to play, or you don't feel like playing anything else, and you just, I don't know, I'm going to play this simple game. It's kind of like the Worm.io. I don't know if you know this game online that you play on the browser, that it's kind of like Snake, but it's an open 3D map, or 3D, I mean 2D in this case. And you go around, and the objective is to make your snake as big as possible. I do play that quite often, and I guess this was exactly the same thing. I didn't have the, I don't know, maybe the patience to play any other games, and I would just fire this up. I think this was even just one floppy disk or something like that. It was quite simple, but it wasn't the best rally game ever. So guys, if you want to just try for the sake of it, go ahead. The link is right there on the description. Give it a go. You can use DOSBox to emulate it, and it works absolutely fine. That's how I played it to record this gameplay anyways. So Blade, what about you? What are you bringing to us today?
Nothing. Oh, but I am bringing something. I am bringing a participation with me.
Oh, someone's contribution.
Oh yeah, we have a contribution to the couch from Hugo. Welcome back to the couch once again. And let's dive right into it. I'm curious about what he brings tonight. Huh.
Let's see.
Let's see. Let's have a look.
In today's participation, I chose Odin Sphere, a 2D side-scrolling RPG, developed by Vanillaware and published by Atlas in 2007. The game has a significant influence from Norse mythology, with an interesting premise of accompanying 5 characters and their different perspectives. All of this is contained within a saga that introduces us to the kingdoms of Ringford, Ragnarok, and Valentine. The graphics are simply stunning, enhanced by hand-drawn models, a smooth combat system, and a truly engaging plot. The game progression relies on a strong narrative component, with numerous cutscenes shown throughout this gameplay and an exquisite voice acting. Regarding the playability, this is not an easy game, and the main story should require roughly 31 hours of your time. The soundtrack is also a highlight of this game, and it was created by Bassescape. A truly amazing experience, and well worth the purchase if you can find it cheap online. There is also a remastered version which is available for both the PS3 and PS4. And if you haven't noticed by now, this is one of my favorite PS2 games, and I probably own a physical copy to this day. Despite being published by Atlas, this was not a commercial success for the PS2, which leaves me curious to find out the overall feedback from our community. This was my suggestion for today's episode. I say farewell for now, and as always, game on, my friends.
Hugo, I have to tell you, that is one nice looking game. I must confess this. The name isn't strange to me, but I have never played this one. It looks really nice.
I did not know it. I've never
really
played
cool.
it. It's kind of like the game of the dolphin, man, that you ride the dolphins back. What was the name of it? It was on our 2 episodes ago, I think, 2 Couchisodes ago.
I'm blocked.
I don't remember the name of it. Yeah, I'm blocked too. Anyways, but he always brings us these less
nice pearls.
gems. Which is exactly what we aim to do here, right? You know, talking about things that are less obvious, and games that we played that, you know, people might not remember. And that was a great example. And I think that this one also is. I don't.
I need to play this one.
Yeah, I don't.
I really do.
Probably we need to find it like you know, either online if someone is selling a second-hand copy of this or not.
No, I'm getting the remastered version he mentioned.
All right,
I'm gonna try it out.
I mean, if you want to play like original hardware, then yeah, I mean, guess that's the way to go. Either that or backups. Backups are always useful. Hey. Oh. Anyways, thanks very much, Hugo. Once again, back to our couch, and we appreciate what you bring us here today, and we hope that the guys right there also appreciate the game that you brought up. So I'm going to continue and kind of another special game also, and I think that this one a lot of people will remember it, and I don't think that this game went, despite not being like an overly complicated or excessively complicated game. I think that people really played it. So I'm going to talk about Drug Wars from 1984 for MS-DOS, and this was created by John E. Dell. So again, no major developers here and so on, and we're going to talk about what this game is. So the main plot is that you need to pay a loan shark for some money that you have borrowed, and the way to do that is by selling illicit substances. So you have 1 month to do so, otherwise, I mean, you know what happens when you don't pay to loan sharks, so you know, yada yada yada, and you go to sleep with the fishes. Like usually that's what they say. As for any successful transaction, you would need to buy low and sell high, and for that you'd need to travel through several locations like Bronx, Manhattan, Coney Island, Brooklyn, and so on and so on. Now, don't expect complex graphics, as I said, or any of that sort. This is a text-based game that was created for a college project, and as I mentioned in the intro, as far as I know from the very little information that is available about this game on the internet, John E. Dell was taking a degree in business management, and this was his project. He made this game. And John, I really hope you're successful today, because I played a lot of this, and I'll tell you where exactly I played a lot of this. And because of John's good understanding of how business and trade processes and mechanics work, the game presents us with many interesting features that when I played it, I was surprised by it. So features like every time you move between locations, because you can travel between locations internally on the game, a random event happens that can have influence in you. For example, you can get robbed on the subway. Your mom made special brownies with some of the substances that you had. But also, you know, you are offered weapons as well as a bigger trench coat to stash more substances with you. Guys, we're not really going to the name of DRUGS because, you know, YouTube is quite you know, strict with the usage of those words and stuff like that. So I guess you guys understand what we are talking about here. So moving on. Additionally, while moving around other locations, these events also trigger chances of substance prices that the changes on the substance prices that are not really to predict. So it's more of a luck rather than management, because sometimes you might move to a location and one thing that you bought was at a lower price, but now it's skyrocketing because there was a bust by the police, and now obviously the prices of those things raise, as it is, I mean, common knowledge on how these things work in the real life. So now here comes the curious part. Now, more than the original game itself, I have to tell you about the legacy of this game. In case you didn't know, Drug Wars actually led to the development of several other games based on it. The most popular was Dope Wars, which I believe was from 1998. Again, the information about these games is really, really scarce. And that was available for download between 1998 and 2005 on the cnetsdownload.com website, which used to be a repository for a lot of things that we needed back then. It spawned a number of ports to almost everything that went from mobile phones to PDAs, back when PDAs were a thing. Even Palm OSs had this game. But the most loved one, and the one that I played a lot, and I mean really, really a lot, was the Texas Instruments versions from my graphics calculator. I had a TI-83, and this game was available on the TI-83. I spent hours at school, and I know I shouldn't, but you know, playing this game, and I can't explain you the attraction by it. I guess it was the swag of being a substance dealer or something like that. kind of make the forbidden fruit the most wanted, but the game was really, really funny. Another curiosity about this, Nintendo DS's GTA Chinatown Wars was also based off this game, where you can actually buy 6 different types of substances and then sell them along Liberty City. Even MySpace, remember MySpace? The very popular social network, had a version of this game in its game library back when MySpace was the best social network, after High Five, of course, because High Five was the thing that we had in Portugal back then. How a businessman student turned out to, one of these games into a classic like this, it really, really baffles me. It was a great job. I played this game a lot. Not only me, my friends at school, we all had graphic calculators because we were studying back then, and it was required for the exams and stuff like that. So we all had one. Some people had, like me, I was a low-end guy. I had a TI-83. Some of my friends, for example, I had one that I think had a TI-86. I think that was the model. That was kind of like, was almost like a Game Gear that you would hold the freaking calculator.
Yeah, it was a huge. There was a huge one. Yeah.
He had a huge screen. This guy, I remember him. He was his parents had a little bit more possibilities than mine, and he had a better one. But it didn't really matter, because in the end was exactly the same. It was a text-based game, and you could just play it on your calculator, which was actually better playing it on the calculator than on the PC, because on the PC you have to use the numeric keypad to do so, and in the calculator you just had to use the numbers, which was really, really easy to do. This game is actually proof that you just need a really good addictive idea and not just good visuals. Yeah. But because this was it. Like, you would buy in one place cheap, you would sell in another place for a higher price. You had to basically pay the loan shark back. With another detail that I actually never mentioned, but every time that as the days pass by, you have a month to do so. As the days pass by, obviously the money that you owe to the loan shark increases because of interest rates and stuff like that these guys charge. So that's the thing. It's not like the amount of money stays fixed. So if you don't keep repaying, or you don't find a very big sum of money to repay the money that you owe, you won't be able to do so. Also, you can ask loans from the bank, but then you have to pay the bank. So it's kind of like exactly what you see. It's a management game, or a business management, let's say, but with a more questionable let's say product let's say it like this. So enough about Drug Wars. I hope you guys have played it. Leave a comment. Where did you play that, actually, if you played it, and if you played it, where did you play it? If it was on a calculator, if it was on a PDA, if it was on a PC, let us know. I would be curious to discuss this with you on the comments. So Blade, what are we going to close for today with?
Before we go there, you mentioned the trench coat and you actually upgrading it. You know what it immediately reminded me of? A series called Parker Lewis. You had this friend with a trench coat that had everything in it. Do you remember that one?
It's familiar, but I'm not really seeing it, no.
You have to look it up again.
I will try anyways.
They were in high school, and there was this geeky friend with the glasses, and he had this huge trench coat.
Yes,
and every time they needed something, he actually opened it up, and he had everything inside that trench coat.
It's totally familiar, but I can't really see it right now in my mind.
Yeah, just look it up after.
I'll look it up after, yeah.
You know what I'm gonna do now?
Yes, you're going to Febreze the air because it's too moldy.
Refresh. Mold away for a bit.
Refresh is on the screen, so really refresh stuff like that. Anyways, go ahead.
Oh yeah, you got me there. I know. Yeah. You're not me. I'm the one making the stupid jokes.
We gotta do something. Take one from the team.
So let's air freshen this up a bit, and let's talk about the game that came out in 2018 called Iconoclasts. It was a pretty cool game. I played on the Nintendo Switch for the first time, and I'm not really sure if you actually tried this one. You've seen this?
Well, I've seen it, but I have not played it.
You have to give this one a go. I have to admit, I got this game on the Switch. I was looking up the store, and I thought, hey, this game looks actually kind of cool. And it was half price at the time. I got it, and it grabbed me for weeks. It's really cool. It's a Metroidvania-like platformer where you have quite a nice story, actually. That you have a religious cult led by someone called the Mother that doesn't like mechanics. And your main character, a mechanic named Robin, is actually arrested as you start the game, and then you have to escape. And then you go on your adventure that I'm not going to ruin the story. But what you do in this game, you can shoot actually a stun gun that can be used for other stuff. You have some grenades that can be used as some kind of missiles. But the star here is your main tool, your wrench. Your wrench is the star of this game. You can do pretty much everything, and most of the puzzles, if not all of them, require this wrench. So you can fix stuff, rotate stuff, power them, anything you can imagine you can do. You can grapple onto stuff, you can hit opponents, you can deflect swords. It's really cool.
I have to try it. I have to try it because we've been. I think that recently we've been seeing a lot of Metroidvania games coming up.
Yeah, it's a trend now.
And even on the air freshener, we already talked about some of them here. We already talked about Gato Roboto. We already talked about Savage Halloween. Both good Metroidvanias that came out. Remembering other ones that came out recently, Celeste, really
Celeste is really cool.
That was on the Game Pass. So I guess that this kind of 2D platformers, these pixel arted ones, are really making
and are really picking up, and with high quality. These are high quality games.
Yes, they are.
And this one, it actually looks pretty cool. It looks really well. The animations of the character are extremely fluid in this game, and the game is really colorful and appealing. Solving the puzzles is actually more appealing because they are presented to you in a very vivid way. And this is an extremely enjoyable game that if you haven't tried out, just try to get your hands on this one. It's really a cool game that's worth your time, and you'll have a really great time playing this one. I really can't recommend this enough. It's a really nice game.
Definitely worth taking a look. I was checking the prices of this. So Steam has this for around, I believe, 16 or 17 euros. GOG slightly cheaper, but keys or these websites for keys like Gamivo, for example, they can have this for like 5 euros, which is, I mean, still, it's a decent price for a game like this, especially considered being
it's well worth it.
A modern game, and I think all of them that we already discussed here in this category of Metroidvania, they all seem to be do a really good job. Most
very cool.
Most recently, I got disappointed with one that is kind of like the style, which was Narita Boy from Team 17. But
never played it.
And we actually haven't discussed that one here, and I have to bring it up because there was some things that I really liked it. Some others, unfortunately, not. But it's like that with anything else. But like anything else, is today we're coming to the end of this Couchisode. I know, guys. Unfortunately, we have to come to an end.
It's time to say goodnight. Nah, I'm not doing this.
Exactly. No, don't do that. And we want you guys to leave us a like. Don't forget. On our videos, it really helps us continue and contributes also for the YouTube gods to notice our video more frequently and put it up for more people to see. As you already know, leave a like if you like it, dislike if you didn't like. Leave a comment down below what you thought about these games. Tell me, or tell us, in this case, where did you play Drug Wars? I mean, was it on your computer? Was it on your calculator? Really interested in seeing that. And as you all know, we say farewell and game on, guys.
Game on, everyone. See you next week.